We're joined by our own Armin Georgian. Armin, Tuesday's vote is about the terms of Brexit. It's not a vote over whether or not there should be a second referendum on leaving the European Union. When you look more closely, Labour seems just as divided as the Conservatives on that matter.
I mean, both parties are definitely in a mess. They can't agree on their Brexit plans, but there's a parallel between the party leaderships of the Conservatives and Labour, which is both leaderships say, you know, the will of the result of the referendum has to be respected. Therefore, we can discuss the terms of the exit, but we can't go back on the original decision itself. But with Labour Party members, it's a different story. There was a YouGov poll that came out on Saturday, which said that 86% of Labour members do want a second referendum. So that will have put some pressure on the leadership, because clearly the grassroots are not satisfied with a vote only on the terms of the exit. They want something more ambitious than that, effectively. So they're going to be pushing for an all options on the table scenario, which is exactly what the leadership, what Jeremy Corbyn doesn't like, because it sounds like going against the will of the people, and of course he doesn't want to risk that.
Doesn't want to risk that, and there are, of course, the chances of whether or not there'll be a general election before March 2019 and that Brexit deadline.
Yeah, and this was mentioned at the party conference today, in fact. If Labour were to win a general election, and remember the two parties are neck and neck in the polls now, then Jeremy Corbyn could go for the customs union, and then he'd be able to say to Remainers in his party, well, look, you know, I didn't get you a second referendum, but I did secure a soft Brexit with many of the things that you wanted. Now you have to back me, and we have to keep this party together. Of course, things could go much less smoothly. Tony Blair has hinted that there could be a third, another party emerging in the next few months, a kind of centrist, pro-Remain, unashamedly pro-Remain party, which obviously, if that happened, would siphon off Labour voters as well as Liberal Democrats. So there are lots of reasons why things might not go according to plan in the way that John O'Donnell seemed to sort of outline today in his speech to that conference. But ultimately, Francois, the question remains, would Theresa May call an early election? Because she would have to do it. And remember what happened last year. She did call a snap election. It didn't work out very well for her. Would she do it now at such a sensitive time, crunch time in terms of the Irish border question? That just doesn't seem very realistic. Whatever the Sunday Times reported this weekend, it just doesn't look very likely that Theresa May would go for such a huge risk right now.
Armin Georgian, many thanks.